Last time I saw you, you were interviewing me.
Yes, I know.
Wow. And you blew my mind. That was incredible.
Was that kind of confronting to have the tables turned?
A little bit, yeah. So I'm back in the role that I'm comfortable in now.
You have a newfound empathy for
asking
us.
the question.
Yes.
And what a huge movie. So congratulations just
Thank
for being a
you.
part of this. I can't wait to see it. Do you remember the first time you put on the Harley Quinn costume and the full makeup and looked in the mirror?
Yeah, it was when we did the first cast photo that was released to everyone. That was the first time. I mean, we were literally running onto set to take that photo and still changing out of one top into the other, being like, should we do this top or this top? And I was just like, this one. Threw it on, did the photo, and then we were kind of cemented to the look after that. So
Then did you look at the picture and go, that's
I
it?
was like, that's badass. I'm stoked with that.
I mean, do you feel a certain amount of pressure bringing Harley Quinn to life for the very first time?
Yeah, for sure, because she has such a big fan following, and I know when there's, a character or a book or something like that I really, really care about, and I'm just, so nervous when they make it into a movie. I'm like, please don't wreck it. Please don't wreck what how much I love this book or character or whatever it is. So yeah, I just want fans to be happy with it.
How do you think Harley Quinn would describe this film?
I should probably say what I said in the trailer. She'd be like, what a ride. What a ride.
I love that you can just switch over to the American accent too.
Yeah.
Amazing. I'm so excited to see this movie, and I know that it's great being a part of it for you. What was it like when you found out that you were going to be playing Harley Quinn?
I mean, there was when I signed on for it, there was no script.
Wow.
There was no one else attached. And I didn't know, I hadn't read the comics before. So all I knew that I was committing to was working with David, and that's what I really wanted. And I'm just a huge David Ayer fan. So I had no idea what I was kind of getting myself into. I'm really happy. But I don't know, it was weird. I had another option of a project I was about to sign on to, and they said, no, stop, don't sign on to it. Can you consider this? And something in my gut was like, yeah, this is the one. So I was like, I'll do it.
I know everyone's talking about Jared Leto being the Joker on set. You didn't see Jared at all.
No.
In those scenes that you're trading lines with him, does it make you step it up to that next level?
Yeah, it's just great because it's so unpredictable, and you don't know what he's going to do or say, so you're kind of genuinely in the moment, which often is hard to do when you're doing like an 18-hour day and it's like the same lines or something. It can get a bit stale sometimes, but when you're working opposite someone who's that in the moment, you're also in the moment. So I think it helps your performance.
I'm going to say congratulations on the film, even though I haven't seen it yet, but congratulations on making it, because I'm pumped to see this thing.
Thank you, man. It was a joy to make, and I just can't wait to get it out there into the world and see what people think.
I know a lot of the marketing has been around the Joker and Harley Quinn. The film itself, who would you say is the central character or couple of characters?
It's really Deadshot's in a movie in a lot of ways, but it's also Diablo's, but it's also Harley Quinn's. So there's a story for everybody. Everybody has a story. I think Will really carries a lot of it because he's kind of at the emotional heart.
There was so much secrecy around filming the movie. Anytime any photo came out from the set in Toronto, people exploded about it. What was the most ridiculous rumor that you heard while you were making the movie?
That the Joker is Jason Todd.
Really?
It ain't the case. He's not.
What about that rumor that you guys reshot it to make it funnier, the Deadpool effect they were calling it?
I don't think you can do that, because it's like, you got a scene and then all of a sudden dudes are cracking jokes and then you're back into the old scene. It doesn't work like that. The movie was always funny. The movie was always a lot of fun. And, the studio just gave me more resources to make it even better.
There were two big DC movies already this year, two big superhero movies with Batman vs. Superman and Deadpool. Is there anything that you took from them, a lesson learned for this movie?
More than anything, it's about the fans. The fans decide. And you can be a director and you can have your vision, but you have to listen to the fans. And I grew up as a fan. I listened to the comics and I also listened to the fans. And it was a good reality check for me. And I think the movie is going to give the fans what they want.
We've also heard that Jared Leto was the Joker the whole time, and you didn't meet Jared Leto on the set. So how do you direct a character? How do you direct the Joker?
Very respectfully. There was a lot of, Mr. J, could you please come here, sir? And
seriously?
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
At what point during the process did this happen? You obviously called Jared, or you spoke with Jared about the film.
Yeah, I started out with Jared and ended up with the Joker, so it was a little bit scary. But, we could talk director and actor, kind of behind the scenes, offline. But when he was on set, he was the Joker, and everybody treated him like the Joker. And Jared kind of disappeared, and then all of a sudden we finished shooting, and he turned up again.
What's the one set piece that was the most difficult for you to shoot?
The ending battles. Just a lot of work.
You know, there's bad guys and there's evil guys.
Yeah.
You guys are just bad guys.
Yeah,
you don't go over that
bad
threshold.
guys, yeah. You know what? It was really interesting. It was fun on the set as we were trying to figure out the line. Like, what was the line between somebody who was bad and somebody who was evil?
Right.
You know, and what we came down to, you know, this is a movie of bad versus evil, and the distinction was a bad guy is redeemable, right? And that someone who is evil is unredeemable, that it's a click in their mind and they're unredeemable. So we were looking at it, and the Joker is evil, right? But Harley Quinn is bad.
And Deadshot?
Deadshot is bad, right? Deadshot is just bad. And Deadshot, his daughter, was that thing that you still cling to humanity, you know? So it was really fun playing in that dark world.
So much of the marketing has been around the Joker and Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
David Ayer says the movie is actually about your character.
Yeah, it's in, you know what happens when you do films like this, the story physics is such, one character holds the emotional line.
And that's
right,
you.
and then so my character holds the emotional line, and it's way more fun to play the other characters if you don't have to carry the emotional line of the movie, you get to do anything. You know, I've been in that position a lot. You know,
I've got to say thank you, because before moving to Miami, everything I needed to know about this city, I learned from your song. Seriously, what is the one line in that song that you think defines Miami the best?
oh wow, that's Spanish, Haitian, Indian, Jamaican, black, white, Cuban, and Asian.
I only came for 2 days.
They're playing.
But every time-
Oh, that's kind of, so you really do know it all.
Of course. I always wind up staying.
It's the type of town I could spend a few days in.
Miami.
The city that keeps the roof blazing.
Amazing. Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Will.
brother.
You can barely recognize you in the film.
Yeah, you know, it's like, I was just saying I got back from Comic-Con, and a lot of people did not recognize me. They're like, oh, that's the guy from other movies,
Right.
not Suicide Squad, because I look so vastly different. You know?
How much time do you spend in the makeup chair at the start of the day?
Initially, it was like over 5 hours.
5
5 hours, yeah. And this is before we started working. Like, this is before we started shooting. And at the end of the day, I have to take it off, which took another 45 minutes, you know? I mean, it was insane. I slept like 3 hours in 7 months.
So, I mean, your days on the set were 16 plus hours then.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, it was literally one of the most intense working schedules I've ever had.
Wow.
Yeah, and you know, as time went on, we were able to get the time in the makeup chair down to maybe like 3 hours, I think it was, which for me was a blessing. But it's the worst, man. It's like you get up, you're dead tired, and it shoots in Toronto, so it was like really cold, and they're spraying water because they're doing these tattoo applications, right?
Oh, no.
So I'm like having cold water shot at me in the face, like at 5 in the morning. It was torturous, man.
Well, it's the first time we've seen El Diablo on the big screen. Does that give you freedom to do whatever you want with the character?
Well, I think he's one of the lesser known characters in the Suicide Squad. So I thought it was cool because me and David could really build a backstory around this guy that people wouldn't be judging. You know, there's like a certain level of expectation for the Joker.
Yeah.
Everyone has an opinion over what he should look like, how he should sound, what his laugh should be, you know, all these different things. And there's not that level of sort of criticism for El Diablo. There's a certain freedom that was really nice.
There's so much secrecy around a movie like this. When you're auditioning for it, what's that process like?
It was top secret. Top secret. So when I was auditioning for it, I went in not knowing anything about the character, and I just had to do martial arts. And in the email for my audition, it said, if you have a sword, bring a sword. And I was thinking, who has a sword at home?
Yeah.
And then I borrowed one and I brought one, of course. Yeah.
You brought a sword to your audition?
I had to.
Did you have any idea what you were auditioning for?
You know, they didn't tell me anything except for the fact that it was a Japanese character and that she was in a comic book. So that could be anyone, right?
Yeah.
So I went on Google and I typed in Japanese sword fighting, katana, not katana the character, but the sword is called a katana. And then she came up.
Oh, you're
So-
like a detective here. Yeah. Speaking of the comic book, in the comics, Katana's not recruited to join the Suicide Squad. She joins on her own. In the movie, how does she join the Suicide Squad?
Well, she works under Rick Flag and Amanda Waller, and Katana is about justice. So she always wants to do something for the greater good, and that's why she's here as the watchdog role, trying to keep everyone in order to beat the bad villain in the movie.
So you're not a bad guy.
No,
Yeah.
not at all. Pretty good, actually.
How much of yourself do you see in Katana?
You know, a lot of people say that I'm very, very different from her. She's very stoic and serious and doesn't crack a smile. But for me, I feel like I've grown up knowing her through Japanese movies, Japanese culture that I've grown up with in the household. I've always known her all along. I don't know if she is me, but there's always been a part of her in me.
And I've heard the stories about the weird gifts that the Joker was giving people on set. Did you get a weird gift from Jared Leto?
So, my first porn magazine was given to me by Jared Leto.
All right.
And okay, so I live with my parents, and I go home. I, of course, kept it. I got him to sign it as the Joker and everything. And I open my suitcase, and my mom goes, "Karen," in Japanese, "what is that?" And I have it all in a box, the adult toys, the porn magazine. And I was like, it's not my, I don't use those things. Of course not. I'm a good girl. It's from Jared Leto. She was like, "Sure it is. Sure."